last march.
Yeah, so the last march I want for our black people is the march to the airport when we're saying goodbye to the US, goodbye to the UK, goodbye to Europe. That march got to be the march that have an effect on their economy. You know, that's when they're going to be listening to us. Because if you research our spending power in America, you know, I mean, was it 1 point something? Was it 1 point something billion a year? How much was it?
1.8 trillion, something like
1.8 trillion. Yeah. That's our spending power. You know, so yes, I respect Farrakhan, I respect what they've done for the Million Man March. But when we could get a Million Man March into the airport and saying goodbye, we're going back to Africa. We're going to develop business in Africa. You know? Okay, Jules. Yeah, and same thing in the UK. You know, when we get 1 million black people decide we're going to march to the airport, we're going home to Africa. We're taking our money and we're going. That's when they're going to be listening to us. That's when they're going to respect us. And that should be our last march, marching out of those countries.
And let me ask you this last question. So a lot of people would say the solution is economic empowerment in America. So we say buying back the block. So buying back, you know, real estate, investing in real estate, investing in businesses. What are your thoughts on that versus, because people think what you're saying as far as buying airplane tickets out of there is crazy versus just buying back the block and controlling our own economy. Like, what would be your thoughts about that?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying, I mean, it doesn't matter what you buy in America. It still stays there on the soil of America, you know, and they're still going to control it there. Why don't we develop those same structures in Africa? Where we know that we're going to be there, we're going to be free. We're going to be free of the white man. Because when you look at America, I mean, when you look at that, the Black Wall Street, what have they done to it? And we can't even find ourselves to build back the Black Wall Street. So now we need to take our investment back to Africa. No point of leaving it in America, you know? Some of us are under this illusion that America is where we should be. England, Europe is where we should be, you know? But we shouldn't be there. We should be here in Africa, developing Africa, you know? I mean, when they designed America and Europe, it wasn't for us black people. Yeah. They got us to build it, but they never include us in it, you know? So it's time that we now take our money and leave those countries. Leave Europe, leave America. Then they will speak to us. Then they will start talking about reparations. But when we're just marching in vain, it don't have an impact on the economy. So now, as I say, we need to have 1 million man march going to the airport. Yeah? That's what we need to do. Yeah. Where we're taking our money, taking our resources, and we're going. Imagine if Tyler Perry had built that studio in Africa. Because it doesn't matter where you live now in the world. The internet connects you everywhere. Right. So you could build a studio anywhere in the world and have the same impact. You know, so imagine if that was built in Africa. Leaving it in America only going to keep the America enriched. You know, we need to take it to Africa. As Akon was saying, he made more money in Africa than what he made in America. Right. You know? So right now the internet link the world and make it one. So it's time we take our investment out of America, which is, what is it, 1.8 trillion. Imagine that spending power coming out of their economy. Because let's face it, we are the ones that our money don't circulate in our community, even for our. Everyone has to take about 10 times before it come out. But for us,
maybe once.
Straight in, straight out. Not even once.
Only time it circulates is the barbershop, consistently.
Yes. That's it. Yeah? All right.
We haven't done this, so we've been here since we lived here. We haven't been for... Yeah, I don't know when we're on holiday, but not since we've lived here. We haven't been to like a family's house for a traditional meal.
How's the experience been so far?
Excellent.
Excellent.
Loving it, loving it.
Shout, let everybody know who you are and shout out.
Okay, so I'm Juliet from my husband Adrian.
Yes, I'm Adrian from Blacksit, you know?
Blacksit. Yeah, we're all from Blacksit. Yeah, we're all about the repatriation back home to the motherland. We're living in Gambia. This is Amma. She just Blacksit as well. So she's come here to live. We've come here to live permanently. Enjoying life here, actually. These are our children.
Hello, children.
There's Caffrey and Kamara. Say hi. So yeah, we're big fans of yours.
Thank you.
We've been following you for years, and in fact, you inspired us. And hang on, turn around. Hey, McKinnon, turn around. Say hi.
Say hello to everybody.
Say hello.
Greetings.
Yeah. So
That's
McKinnon's
our
also
shop,
a fan, and
I'm
he's
the cameraman and the video editor, like this.
Okay, so the cameraman too.
Yeah, and the video editor.
Okay, man of many hats.
yeah.
That's
So
the shop there.
that's our shop there.
Oh, that's your shop. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We got when we come back. Oh, you got ice cream too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. When we come back, we definitely
Yeah, we make I make homemade ice cream. My brother and I.
Oh man, I gotta have a homemade ice cream.
Yeah,
I gotta have a homemade ice cream.
You definitely will.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so we basically got fed up
Right.
of living in England. Our children suffered terribly from racism. We suffered terribly from racism. It became a really high-profile story in the media, and as such, we became targeted. So we realised that life just wasn't good for us there. As black people, life was getting worse, and with the Brexit, we realised it was time to Blaxit.
Okay.
So yeah, the Blaxit was our re-entry back home to Africa, and to be honest with you, it's the best decision I've ever made in my life. The best decision I've ever made in my life. I'm more happy. Well, I'm not even more happy. I am ecstatically happy. Being around your own people, smell that food, smell that.
Oh yeah.
Being around your own people and living a genuine life, because it's genuine. You're not living like, I think Joe said, it's a double consciousness.
Right.
Yeah, we're not living a double consciousness anymore. We're living a single consciousness.
I know exactly know the feeling. I know the feeling. Like for me, when I was in corporate America, it was just a realization that I know what you're talking about. Like you're black, but you're like in white corporate America.
Yes.
And you're just. I know exactly what you're talking about. Consciousness.
Yeah.
I have the same feeling.
Because like
Because you have these, like you're trying to keep this black African identity, but you're in white corporate America.
Exactly.
And, you have one face in corporate America, then you have
another
the other
face
one
when you go home. Yeah.
You know, and then you go home and it's like, damn, I'm making it in corporate America. Why can't I just be myself?
Yeah. You know what? It's funny.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, even Wodo Meyer, because I was talking to Wodo Meyer about you,
Uh-huh.
and we were talking. He's also a big fan of yours as well.
Uh-huh.
I think we all are, but you know, and you've inspired all of us really on our journeys. You know,
Uh-huh.
you showed us it's possible,
Right.
possible to come, even. You know what I mean? To come, because remember we have fears,
Right.
and these fears are instinctive and they're built over time. When you live in the West, all they do is they show you. Can you turn the radio down a little bit for me, Lamin, please? Yeah. Lamin, can you turn the radio down for me, please? Thanks. What they do is they instinctively build up, if you like, layers and layers and layers of fears and a lot of insecurities. And part of that insecurity is even to your own people.
Right.
So when you see the vision of Africans or Africa, you don't see yourself.
Right.
You don't see a reflection of yourself. You see other than self. And so that's what happened to us. Yeah.
All right. Don't take all the money out the bank. Don't take all the money out the bank.
Yeah.
I said don't take all the money.
Oh, okay.
Save some money for us. Save some money for us.
But she told the truth. She was entitled to tell the truth.
They were talking about the AU.
Yeah, it's our story, and we should be telling that story. So we have to be careful about what we grab onto and run with, and whether it's good for us or not. And the debate is still open about democracy and what it really means and what impact that might have on us. We are sovereign people, we are free people, we have our own system, we've always had our own systems. And when you look at the West, really their systems are just emulating what we have had beforehand, but they've bastardized it. And you know, when we talk about corruption in Africa, yes, there is some, but where did they learn it from?
Right.
Who's pulling the strings? Yeah, who's giving the sweeteners? It's no different to, you know, how we became enslaved hundreds of years ago. So Gambia is an excellent choice. It's really good for our people in terms of navigating, as I said. It's really good in terms of the stress we're coming from to come to a less stress-free place. You can work here, you can live here. You know, when you're in the UK, you work to pay bills. And
Same thing in America.
yeah, so you know,
no
at the end of the month, you
It's
look
no
at what's
difference.
left in your hands.
Nothing.
There's nothing left,
Nothing.
and you think, well, why did I work all month? You know, everything is tax. When I was
Right.
telling somebody we even pay tax to watch the TV, they couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's true.
Now
And on the phone.
in
Your
Africa,
phone, tax
yeah,
everything, yeah.
you can have less than 10 bills a month. Less than 10 bills a month. You know, you can have, the creator's given us sun. You can have your solar, so you don't have to pay for electricity. You can have your water under the ground. You can have fresh water, the borehole. So there's no water, there's no electricity bills if you choose to live that way. Yeah, you can build your house mortgage free. In the UK, you know, you've got this noose around your neck for 25, 30, 40 years. They're now talking about a 100-year mortgage.
You have a 40-year
They-
mortgage in the UK?
You can. They're now talking about passing your mortgage on to your children. So now it's even
Yeah.
becoming generational. So you
Yeah.
see,
Are you serious?
there's no life.
Generational debt.
Yeah. Whereas here, what I like about here, what you have in your purse is what you spend. There's no debit card, there's no credit card, there's no debt. If I have it today, I'll spend it. If I don't have it, doesn't matter. Yeah, I like that. I can go and buy fresh fruits and vegetables.
Fresh for cheap.
Fresh for
Listen,
cheap.
it's pay as
Yeah.
you go.
And you know, as a vegan, that's my main diet, so I rely on that. So it's a really good choice. It's an easy choice. There are other developed African nations which are probably not as cheap as Gambia. Remember, Gambia is probably about 50 years behind.
Gambia is very inexpensive.
Yeah, it's economical.
It is
Yeah.
getting expensive compared to years ago. If you came here 10 years ago, it was even cheaper. But like everything, you know,
Inflation.
it goes up. Yeah, inflation. But still, the inflation is nothing like the West, where, you know, you might pay £20 for something one year, the next year it's £50.
Right.
And there's no explanation, it's just the way it is, and
Just
you've got to
what it
pay
is.
it.
Right.
You've got to pay it. But yeah, so for me here, as an older person, if I was in the UK, I would be struggling. I would have to work 40 hours a week just to
40?
make, yes.
60.
Now you're talking. I was doing 3 jobs.
Right. Well,
I was
I
doing
was
3
quite
jobs.
fortunate. I only had to work one job, and that was sufficient. But
Well,
you
my
know,
one job, it was still 50, 55. I had quotas, so.
no. Well, we have working time directive. Unless you opt out, like if you're a doctor or maybe an oil rig worker or whatever, you can opt out of that because you might have to work more hours. But the majority of people work 35 to 40 hours, and that's
Wow.
regulated. Because
America.
otherwise there's no work-life balance. So as I said, as an older person, you know, there comes a time where you don't want to be working all week. You want to have some enjoyment. Now they're talking about working till, I think it's 75. You know, that's no life. So that means you start working at, say, 16, maybe 21 if you've left university, and then you work till 75. Where is your rest period? There isn't any.
You don't have one.
There isn't any.
You don't have
So, you know, I would say to people, if you can, plan it so that maybe by 55 is the maximum and you get out of work.
No,
And then you
55
start
is too
enjoying.
That's too old. I'm
That's
trying to
too
get
old.
that.
Well, you know, not everybody. Remember, if you don't have a particular career, you might not be able to do that. I retired at 50, but I was able to do that because of the career I had. But if you don't have that, you may not be able to do that. So I would say 55 is a good age. You know, I got my parents out of work by that age. Because, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you don't need to be working. Once your children get to a certain age, then you should be able to slow it down if you're able to. But you have to plan that, because some people may have started late, and, you know, I know people that have still got children under 10, and they might.
The support had support issues from all ends, and more than anything else, stress. So I ended up closing that in July, and I thought, right, well, that's it. I've had enough. I'm
You
going.
go over the cake business here.
Yeah, I plan to do it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I plan to, because my original plan was to open it here, but I thought, okay, well, since I'm going to be here for maybe at least a year while the baby grows and, you know, becomes a little bit stronger. He had some health issues when he was about 2 weeks old. So I thought I would stay, and then if it doesn't work, I'll come to the Gambia. So when it didn't work, I just thought, well, my ancestors are saying to me it's time to leave now. So I closed the business, and then I started to pack my things up. And, you know, my daughter had been homeschooled for the last 2 years, because I didn't like what I was hearing about the schooling system, and I could see what was coming, and I don't agree with what a lot of the policies, a lot of the behaviours, a lot of the culture So that's one of the main reasons why I took her out of school, and I said we're going back to Africa because this is where we come from, this is where we should be building, and I would rather take my money and come here and invest it rather than sit there, struggle, not really having much of a life because the weather's not great, everything is so expensive. So to go out and have a really, really good day, you're spending a lot of money.
Right.
You know, so I said to my daughter, you know, the beach is free, we can walk about, your fruits are cheap, you know, it's a better life, it's a much better life. So that was my main reason for coming back, as well as wanting to connect with the locals, to educate the youth who can hopefully educate the elders, because there are a lot of them that, you know, don't speak any English, so they speak the traditional language. So if we can educate youth on race pride, African pride,
important.
our spirituality, that's another reason why I came back here. I love the idea of meeting people who are non-religious, and actually meeting people who actually practice African spirituality. So I just feel like that's what we're supposed to do. We're meant to come back, reconnect, pick up our culture, let go all the other stuff that hasn't really benefited us.
Right.
Because our people have been praying, have been begging, have been, you know, handing out or waiting for somebody else to resolve our issues, and we're still suffering for it. Nothing has changed. So really it's us that has to do the work. We've got to roll our sleeves up and get our feet dirty. It's simple as that in order to build Africa back. So, you know, I implore everyone. I came out here on my own, no husband, with my daughter. Obviously I have good friends here, I call family. So I knew I had some support system to come back to. Not a lot of people have that.
Right.
But I just want people in the diaspora to know that, you know, don't let anything hold you back. Don't let your circumstances dictate your future. You know, come back, save your money, get rid of the things that are really not necessary in your life, because we have attachments to things.
Yeah.
And these things are
Struggle
not
with it.
really beneficial, you know. So get rid of those. Yeah, it just holds you back. Get rid of those things and come and visit Africa. Instead of going to Spain, instead of going to Dubai, come to Africa, come to Black Africa. Come and reconnect with your people. Come and see for yourself. Forget what the media's doing, because all they're doing is showing the negatives, but they won't show you the negatives of the countries that you're residing in.
No.
Come and see for yourself.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're showing the
This is
negatives.
Seth. This is my brother.
Hey, Seth.
And he came when we were coming. We said to him, do you want to stay in England, or do you want to come back to Africa with us? And he made his own choice for his own reasons too, and he has his own voice. You go ahead, bro.
Well, I came here.
Speak up, Sikini.
I find this a wonderful place. It's beautiful. Yeah. So I'm more independent here. Travel a lot more. I find now I got my scooter, riding around. No, learning the languages slowly. Okay.
But he has responsibilities here. In England, you know, my brother faced challenges around disabilities and so on. And here, he's freer. He's just grown so much in the last few months. It's almost amazing to see how my brother is coping here in Africa compared to how he was coping in the UK. And I feel that his potential is unlimited here. Disability doesn't stop you from being who you want to be or doing what you want to do. You know, he manages our shop, he helps with stocking, he helps, you know, to make products, and you know, he's just a stronger person here. He's found his voice, I think. He's found his voice, he's found his